to Southwest Florida. And he was the first recipient, the first adult recipient of the Honor Arrowman medal. You got one of those up here, right here?
It's over there. Yeah.
Someplace over here?
It's right there.
No, I don't think so. No? Okay.
No, there's not one in there.
All right. Well, it kind of looks like this one, right?
Yeah.
So the Van was the first recipient of that. Oh, here it is.
Airman of the Year.
Honor Airman of the Year. So he was the first adult recipient. He made, or had made, the very first vigil triangles that were ever handed out at a banquet in 87, 85, something like that. This is one of those. They weren't made out of German silver, they were made out of sterling. And they had it scratched in. Now the guy who actually made the triangles was another member from Osaka, who was one of the founding members of Osaka, and now his name slips my name.
It's not Tim Castor, is it?
No, it's not Tim Castro. It's the guy that actually taught Tim Castro.
Because Tim makes them now, that's what
Yeah. I'm having a brain loss there.
Paul Anderson?
No, but in the
Okay.
same kind of.
Paul.
I can't remember his name.
Started with an H.
I don't remember. Anyways, so Van handed those out. But the biggest reason why we did the patch with Van was because we were having a kind of an early crisis within the lodge. Okay? And the crisis was that, again, we wanted to grow the lodge, and the powers that be wanted it to stay very small. And I, as lodge chief, was supposed to attend the Council of Chiefs for the section conference. And this is before they had a council, they had the section seminars and the Council of Chiefs at the same time. And I was supposed to attend it as lodge chief. Well, it was also a work day to prepare for Scout Show. And the Scout executive would not allow me to attend the Council of Chiefs. I had to be at the Scout Show. So I sent my vice chief with Van to the Council of Chiefs. That was the first Council of Chiefs that Osceola Lodge had attended in 8 years, up to that point. So Van went way beyond, kind of broke the rules in a lot of ways to help make, and that pretty much from then on, with the assistance of the members of the LEC and the lodge advisors, that's when you start seeing the lodge start to grow, and that's why he ended up on that side. The busk patches, I understand you're bringing the busk back. Is that what I understand? Well, that's fantastic. The first, you can tell the first one was for the anniversary of the Order of the Arrow. The next one has an Anminga, and there's a purple one with turtles on the bottom of it. And that's because I went to Cypress Lake High School and we were purple. That's a little piece of trivia there. This one, this lodge bus is a beaded bandolier bag, and that's Osceola's beaded bandolier bag. And that's owned by the Seminole tribe now. It used to be in the museum in Gainesville. The rounds were a really cool thing that we did because that was the first time that we also did all the chapter patches. And those were that was before the merger, that was the largest that the number of chapters that the lodge had. Those of you who are in, a former lodge chief wanted to make sure that I mentioned him. Eric Knight, who was lodge chief of Osceola, designed the Ever Ready Buddy one. He wanted me to make sure I put it. And then You ever wonder why we had an owl? You ever wonder why? Now this is what that patrol.
Because the Seminoles don't like owls.
No, they don't. No, they don't. This one I never understood. I think that was Gary Doty.
That was Gary Doty.
I never understood it. I still don't.
Very popular.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Extremely. Not on the Seminole reservation.
Yeah, the owl one. No.
No, the gorilla.
The gorilla.
All right.
People like the gorilla.
So when Ocean first formed, Matt asked me to draw up a patch for, and that's the one that I designed, and it meant two things. It was Manatee District, and that's a Calusa War Club there. That's why that was on there. I don't know if you do that. But that's what that was on there for. And then when it got redrawn, then it put the sunrise of the Academy Lodge on there with the manatee. Tucson-Immokalee, it's Panther District. That one's pretty self-explanatory, right? And even the Pink Panther down there. This whole series of patches that we did, it had to do with this was shell work, and we wanted to just add a bunch of colors because shell work is shell with black, and that's kind of boring as a patch. So that's why we added all these bright colors to this series. This series right here, these were ceremonial team members, all except for the warrior, and we took the shirt off because that's what the Seminoles wore.
The back patches.
Yeah, in the back, here's the guys down here, actually in their garb. We shot that. That's the team that built the current ceremony grounds at Lenoche. They're the guys that put it all together. It's been rebuilt over the years, but that was the first team that put that together. The feathers, when those were designed, they were designed to be worn on the button of your hat. That's what the idea on those particular ones. And each one of the, if you notice, they each have a color, and those are the Seminole Indian medicine colors, and that's why those are. So you've got a white heron, you've got a hawk, you've got an eagle, you've got a great blue heron, and you've got an owl feather. And those are medicine feathers within the Seminole tribe and the Creek tribe. So that's what those are. And then the last set that I did for Osceola was the beaded bandolier set with Old Chief Tallahassee. That set is embroidered on felt to make it look like a regular bandolier bag. It would be bead embroidered on wool, so that's why it's like that. Mike Brown continued that in with the Calusa set that he did in '99, and then the following year. And then this is the next version with the chapter people. Now went back to Mike Brown. I love this set. This is probably, of all the sets that I had nothing to do with, that is my favorite set that Osceola did. They did a great job in making that series work. I think I came back to Florida. I think it was 2002. No.
Behringer did that.
This year. Yeah, Behringer did that.
Behringer.
Yeah. And that was so, but this is obviously, it's the Florida wildlife, and then the buildings at Camp Miles. When I was at that weekend, Dennis Bowser asked me, he said, have you got any old designs that you just got laying around? And I said, well, I've got this one. And that was an old Micanopy chapter t-shirt design. My dad was in the Bear Patrol when he took his wood patch here at Camp Flying Eagle. And so I had redrawn that up as a chapter patch. Well, Dennis liked it, and then he ran with the other pictures of Baloo there in Seminole jacket. All of this right here is from Seminole, the Seminole tribe's totems. They've reproduced that in T-shirts and lithographs. So that's where all these odd kind of animals and things like that.
Museum.
Yeah.
Comes from the museum down there.
Yeah. Here they use the Aztec calendar glyphs to make these designs. This is the lodge's first chenille for the 35th anniversary of the lodge. Now, who is this beaver for?
That was Corey Peterson, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I think so, Corey.
Yeah, for NOAC, he designed that.
Okay.
Because I was in the Beaver Patrol in Woodmatch.
Ah.
Corey was being cute.
Okay. All right. This one, of course, we kind of talked about the anniversary for Flying Eagle. I don't know if you guys know about this one. This was really cool. Remember the Seminole jackets that we talked about? So when the guys got this together to design those are actual Seminole jackets of lodge members. And if you look at the collar forms the W's. So if you look at it, you'll see there's three collars on there. Okay. So when the lodge hosted in 2008, nobody had a design at all. And I got kind of a late phone call saying, hey, we need a design. And I had been playing, and I'll show you the patch. I had played with a design that I had done several years ago for when we hosted in 91. And I had this other Seminole Indian kind of coming out at you with a rattle. And so I played with it and tried to use, instead of using all the regular pictures of Osceola, when he died, they actually did a death mask of him, where they took plaster, covered his face in it, and then they made a mold, and then they sent these death masks to, they sold it for people's, what they used to call cabinets of curiosity. So you could buy this and you could have it in your collection. Those death masks are all over the country. So I tried to use that face on the patch. Well, we got that particular part done, but I didn't have a background or anything else for it. So I thought, since there had never been a woman on a section conference patch, that it would be a good idea to, since there were a lot of female brothers now, I thought it'd be a good idea to have them represented. So that's why there's a lady on it. The problem is that the artwork got mixed up. So the final design, which was this one, never got used for all the other patches. So if you look at it, this guy looks completely different from this guy. It looks this was my very first rough sketch, and they turned this one into it. So that's why that set's kind of screwy in all the different versions, because they didn't use all the same art. Then the question came, what can we do for a chenille, because this is a pretty complicated patch. And I suggested, well, you know what'd be really cool? It's a Camp Flying Eagle, and that was the home of Calusa Lodge. Why don't we do the Calusa Lodge chenille? So that's what that is. That's not the Flying Eagle one, it's the Calusa Lodge chenille. And on the back of it is embroidered section conference Camp Flying Eagle. All right, this one here. So then I think Gary said, hey Dave, we need a host. And I was in a screwy mood, I don't know what was going on. But I had seen a picture of the lodge's section conference t-shirts at, I think, the previous year. And they were these tie-dye t-shirts. So I said, let's do a tie-dye patch. That'd be kind of fun. So I literally took a picture of, it was online, of the guy wearing the shirt, and it had the lodge, it had the orb on the shirt. So when it got produced for this, the white that's in his face is from that T-shirt. They didn't take it off the patch. Like they should, because I literally sent a picture of the T-shirt right there and put Osceola. And this time, there's one of the lodge flaps here. Some of the collectors called the sunglass set. The story we heard from lodge members was that was done on purpose, and that's a lie. Because it wasn't done, but it looks like sunglasses. I purposely put sunglasses on Osceola in that particular. And then we put it back in sunglasses again for Noah this year. So that's why that design is kind of different. And we tried to make it look like a tie-dye as well as we could. For being what it was, I thought it still turned out kind of cool. And Gary, did you pick out the lettering? Because that was a different kind of lettering too. That was the first time I kind of seen that. You guys know about this series?
The iPod?
No. Those were the colors of the Apple computer that had come out. Right? That's what they did. The Apple colors. Right?
Designed by Corey Peterson.
Okay. Right. And then of course you've got the only patch that also is actually done with a section chief on it. Right, because there's Sean Ferrier there. And each of these guys were members of the lodge, and I couldn't tell you who they were, but they're all members of the lodge. A lot of lodges did the fish patches, so it's a great set. It's a great colors. I call it the Nemo set. I don't know what y'all call it, but that's what I call it, because it's got the two. This is great because the dance team at that particular lodge, at that particular point of the lodge was very good, very active. There were a lot of individual dancers that competed, and so that's kind of a cool set to commemorate that. And then of course the hard rock set, the hard rock set, right? So anybody a big Rush fan? Anybody like Rush?
Rush Limbaugh?
Everybody in the age of 40 knows who Rush is.
Oh yeah, they do.
What are you doing, John? We're going to kick you out.
This is Neil Peart sitting at a drum set. I don't know if you know that. But that's what that is. Neil Peart from Rush. I found this great picture of him sitting at the drum set.
Neil Peart, I know about him too.
There you go.
Sean Hannity.
Everybody know who Kiss is? Okay, you know who the original guitarist was?
We'd have to
Ace
have
Frehley?
21 activities.
That's his guitar. And then the idea for the set, well, by doing the lettering there, was for it to be like a concert poster. So that's why you kind of see that unique font and Live at NOAC. This was kind of almost like a predecessor to the lodge flap, but it was commemorating all the times that both the Kelly County and Osceola had won the quest for the Golden Arrow. I think the game controller kind of speaks for itself. You guys may or may not have heard that the lodge for several jamborees has provided ice at the jamboree, so this is the ice crew there. And do you guys get to do that again this year?
We did it last time.
Yeah, did it again? Cool.
Three jambos.
Okay. And I will truthfully tell you, I had never seen these patches until today, so I can't tell you anything about
Deanna,
That's the
They're
Bickford series.
That's the Bickford. That's from my chapter.
it. Okay.
So's the game controller.
Okay.
You're winging it great.
Yeah, you're doing good.
You're winging it great.
They all have DB ghosted in the...
You know, that's funny you say that because,
HJI.
yeah. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to just kind of real quick, I know that was a whole lot of stuff to go over, but one of the things that happens is how do you come up with these designs, okay? And